Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Depending on what time you're watching this, what part of the world you're in. This is Chris again. Watch Launch coming in with another video. Today's video is, as the title mentions, this is a duel or a battle between some of what I think are the ultimate field watches available right now at the moment. Now, some other variations that I'm not including in this are Boulder or other ones like that, the Venture and everything else, because they're mainly micro brands, which I guess you can consider Smith's a micro brand as well. But I felt like a lot of people would like to see the Smiths in with the Alpinist and the Hamilton. I know the Alpinist now, Hamilton has been beaten to death as far as like battles and stuff, but nobody's really included the Smiths in there as well. As I do feel like the Smiths watch is a field watch, seeing as how it was started out in Hillary that climbed with one on Everest, in which also the Japanese, the Alpinist, of course, is a mountain watch. Quick sports check. I am indeed wearing that Ernest Benz Chrono Lunar and doing it while I can. Look for a full review of this guy coming up soon, as I do have to send this back. But today's topic is going to be a little bit different than the way I do the duel. And instead of showing you guys my nasty handwriting, my really bad doctor's handwriting, guys, I will pop it up here on the screen. The different categories I'm going with are history for number one, versatility for number two. Sorry, guys, I am reading off my chart here. Price for number three. The fourth factor will be durability. The fifth factor will be wearability. The sixth factor will be availability. The seventh factor in the score will be the X factor, or what kind of makes it kind of pop more than the others, I guess you could say. And the eighth will be size. The ninth will be quality. And number 10 will be value for money, as in how much watch do you get for what you do pay in US dollars or English pounds per se. Now, the Alpinist is going to represent itself, not the newer lineup, as I do feel it's a little bit of a different watch, even though this one has a little bit more history. The OG Alpinist has a little bit more history, I feel like, than the newer ones. Of course, the newer ones are more modern interpretations, and I feel like this one kind of stands out on its own as far as that concern, and it will factor into the availability and the history and everything as well. Now, first off, with history on the watches, I gave the Hamilton the khaki. Of course, this is a khaki mechanical. Now, they will represent most versions of its kind. The history, I feel like I gave it a 9 out of 10, as Hamilton does have a lot of history, a lot of brand cachet, guys. They're one of the watches that helped win World War II. Now, the Smiths, I also gave a 9 out of 10, as they are another watch that helped win World War II, if I believe correctly. They were actually included in a lot of British servicemen's wrists. Excuse me. And now on to the Alpinist. I gave it an 8 out of 10, as I feel like its history is a little bit more recent on the Alpinist here, guys. This is a fun little watch. That dial really pops out at you. That green kind of sunburst dial definitely really pops out at you. Definitely a fun watch, though. But like I said, I feel like it's a little bit more modern, recent history on the Alpinist. And if you speak to anybody who was in the service or anybody who's into watches, they're going to point out, of course, the Alpinist, not the service people. But the service people will point out the Smiths or the Hamilton guys. Now, as far as versatility, I gave the Hamilton here. I gave it a 10 out of 10, of course. As you will see in the end of the video, I'm going to throw up a bunch of different looks on straps here, guys. So that way you can see what they look like on different straps, because I ended up buying a bunch of different straps for this one and the Alpinist. And as you know, the Smiths was kind of lent in by my buddy George. Again, I appreciate you lending it in, George. I'll leave a link to his Instagram down below, guys. You've seen him in my live streams. But the Hamilton, I gave a 10 out of 10 for versatility. The Smiths, I also gave a 10 out of 10 for versatility, because it looks so great on any kind of leather, any kind of NATO, pretty much any kind of strap you throw it on. Now, the Alpinist for versatility got an 8 out of 10, just because that green dial, it's a lot more versatile than you guys think, but you can't really wear it as much as you can, say, the Hamilton or the Smiths, if you have the Smiths in your collection, guys, which is really the only thing that kind of downgrades it a little bit. Now, again, keep in mind that this battle is all subjective, guys. This is just all personal opinion on what I think. You guys can comment down below what you think. You agree? Do you disagree with me? Like I said, everything's subjective. Keep along with the score. Let me know what you think down there in the comments. And like I said, everything on this video is subjective. It's going to be a little bit longer video than normal. Now, as far as price, the Hamilton got a 9 out of 10. Basically because I picked mine up really cheap, guys, and you can pick it up secondhand pretty cheap as far as that's concerned. You can usually pick it up under $500 or way less than that. So I gave it a 9 out of 10, especially coming in with that the Swiss movement, the Etta movement, guys. And that Hamilton AH10 movement is really killer. Now, for price, I also gave the Smiths a 9 out of 10 because it is right around $500, and it's a lot of watch for the money. I believe it comes with a Miyota movement, if I'm correct. And then the Alpinist, I gave it 9 out of 10 also. It didn't score a 10 out of 10, basically because of it is not quite widely as available, and there are kind of flippers that are trying to. I've seen it on Amazon for like $1,000, but you can get it all day long for under $500 if you guys look, of course, used market, of course. I got mine for under $500. Now, durability, the Hamilton gets a 10 out of 10. Just because we know it's a really durable watch. That 100-meter water sapphire crystal. It's got that Etta workhorse movement, guys. Again, just an overall great watch. Now, for the durability on Smiths, I also gave it a 10 out of 10 because, again, that Miyota movement, really killer. Got about the same water resistance as the Hamilton. So, again, really killer overall package for durability. And the Alpinist, I also gave it 10 out of 10. As we know, these were made for outdoor watches. All three watches were made for outdoor reasons, for the watches, of course. Now, again, all three of them got 10 out of 10 for durability. And let me know what you guys think about that. Now, the wearability. The Hamilton got a 10 out of 10, of course, because that 38mm size, the kind of angular lugs, it's like it's not even on the wrist, guys. And it wears closer to like a 3940, so it will fit most wrist sizes, from smaller to bigger ones like mine. Mine's a 7.5 inch wrist. As far as personal experience goes, I never even realized it's on the wrist, guys. Now, the Smiths gets an 8 out of 10 for size, guys. Only because it is only a 36mm size, even though it is being true to its history. As far as the size, which that 36mm does wear a little bit bigger than you guys would think, but it kind of turns off most people. So that's why I gave it an 8 out of 10. Still, like I said, this is all subjective, guys, so don't hate me too bad in the comments down below. Now, the Seiko Alpinist got a 9 out of 10 because it's 38 and 39mm size. It wears closer, almost kind of smaller, because as you know, most Seikos tend to wear a lot smaller on the wrist than their usual size states. And this is definitely the case for the Alpinist. It is a little bit smaller for most people, but something you got to get used to. And I love it personally, but that's why it didn't get a 9 out of 10. I just feel the Hamilton wears slightly a little bit better. Now, for availability, the Hamilton, of course, got a 10 out of 10 because it's available from pretty much everywhere, guys. You can get it from Jumbo Shop. You can get it from all kind of different Nomon. You can get it from... You just got to shop around and look who has the best prices, who has the best deals. You can find it right under $500 all day long. And probably even cheaper than that, especially on sales. Now, of course, for the availability factor, the Smiths only gets an 8 out of 10 because a lot of times they're sold out. Thank you to a bunch of YouTubers like myself that, push the word out on them. Now, there are other more popular YouTubers. ID Guy, he's one of them that kind of popularized the Smiths. And there's nothing wrong with that, guys. Great channel. And it's just a popular watch, and I don't think they can keep up with demand as Time Factor is just a smaller run company. So that's no knock on them. It's just availability. Like I said, they sell out, and I agreeably see why they sell out as quick as they do. So it only got an 8 out of 10, guys. So again, like I said, now the Alpinist got a 9 out of 10 as the new ones are coming out, and this is the discontinued model, the Sarbo 17. They are kind of drying up on the older ones, even though they made hundreds of thousands of these pieces. They're starting to dry up, and on the secondhand market, excuse me, guys. As I did mention, they did. People are just asking ridiculous prices. Don't pay their flipper prices, guys. Wait, be patient if you really want a first-gen Alpinist, and the right run at the right price will come along. I really wasn't looking for one of these when it happened, and I just happened to come across it, and like I said, now I'm really glad I did. As far as X Factor, the Hamilton gets a 7 out of 10. And again, I know they have all kinds of different dial colors. I like the white dial. The X Factor on the Hamilton's just kind of like meh. It's just kind of like a plain looking kind of watch, as you can see. That's what makes it so great, so versatile. So it only got a 7 out of 10 on the X Factor, guys. Now, for the Smiths, it got an 8 out of 10 just because the history, and just the size and everything. Which again, I know I mentioned the size was smaller earlier in the wearability, but I just feel like that kind of does help it out a little bit on the X Factor. And the Alpinist, of course, got a 10 out of 10 on the X Factor, guys, because just that sunburst green dowel, just a really killer dowel, really killer overall look, and it goes great on wide straps, guys. So it got a 10 out of 10 for the X Factor, excuse me. And then as far as size, number 8 is a 9 out of 10 for the Hamilton. And like I said, it goes into the earlier factor where it is 9 out of 10. It wears almost perfect on the wrist, guys. It kind of hugs the wrist almost, and it's not even on the wrist. And the Smith gets an 8 out of 10 again because of the smaller size. I like it personally. I can deal with it, but a lot of people do not like it for the smaller size. They do have a 40mm version as well that they do sell. I will mention that. So don't hate too much down in the comments. I do know they have a 40mm version. But this 36, I feel like it's more true and accurate to the history of the piece and the heritage of the piece. And then the Alpinist, of course, gets an 8 out of 10 for size, just because it wears a little bit smaller than those 38, 39mm spec skate. So on to quality of each one. Now the Hamilton gets a 9 out of 10 because it's almost a perfect watch. You know I prefer a sterile dial, and I love a really sterile dial, guys. It's definitely really killer, especially for the price. It's just, it doesn't have that 100% perfect quality. Now the Smith gets 10 out of 10 for quality just because the way it's made. It's really well manufactured, guys. And for the right around 500 euros that you pay for it, definitely a lot of watch for the money. Now the quality on the Alpinist is 9 out of 10, just because it could use a little bit here and there. The finishing is really good, but it just doesn't scream quality, I guess. So it didn't really get a 10 out of 10. Now again, guys, these are all subjective charts, you know. And as far as value for money, like what you get for your money, including the movement, including everything else. Now the Hamilton gets a 9 out of 10 for value for money, because you can pick them up all day long really cheap, especially secondhand, guys. So 9 out of 10 on the Hamilton. Now the Smith gets a 10 out of 10 because it holds its value really well. As I did mention, it does sell out really quickly. Every time they have a new batch, they sell out. You got to be on that order trigger really quick to be able to buy one. I want to eventually add one to the personal collection, but in no time soon. And again, for the Alpinist, for value for money, it's a 10 out of 10 right now, because as I have mentioned, it is right under $500. You can pick one up all day long for under $500. Definitely worth it, guys, especially if you pick it up for that $400, as I do feel like it is one that is going to skyrocket. Now, I usually don't speculate on watches, but I have a feeling that this one is going to go up in value in the next couple of years as it is discontinued. Now, to tally up the final scores, guys, we have a 92 out of 100. If you guys have been following along, and I do appreciate you for sticking around this long if you have, guys, because I'm just cutting a little bit longer video than I normally do. Now, the Hamilton is a 92 out of 100. The Smith and the Alpinist tied at 90 out of 100. So basically, guys, the Hamilton wins as the most versatile piece. Let me know what you guys think down below. Do you agree, disagree? But you can keep it civil down there. Like I said, I know I'm bound to hurt some feelings, I guess. But this is all just, again, subjective. This is YouTube. I figured it'd be a cool little video, because a lot of people don't put the Smiths in with the Hamilton or the Alpinist video duels. So I feel like this was a cool, fun little way to show you guys what they look like side by side. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Again, do you agree, disagree? If you haven't already, please like, subscribe, comment down below, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.